Good morning. Welcome to JoyNews. That's coming up this morning. Former President Mahama amplifies calls by labor unions insisting government reverses decision to impose VAT on non-lifeline residential electricity consumption as they threaten massive unrest after a week. EC justifies suggestions to shift the date for both presidential and parliamentary elections from December 7 to November 7, saying the decision has a full backing of all political parties. We have details for you shortly. And in sports, GFA sacks Chris Hughton, dissolves technical team after Ghana's exit at AFCON. We have business and details of all of this coming up shortly. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay for details. The West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited will undertake a coordinated and planned emergency shutdown and high integrity pressure protection system proof test in Ghana, Benin and Togo between the 28th and 30th January. Whether this will affect gas supply, which will in turn affect power supply, it is not certain. We will be getting more on that from WAPCO in the coming days. But excerpts of the statement released by WAPCO reads, the West Gas Pipeline will undertake a coordinated and planned emergency shutdown and high integrity pressure in Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Nigeria, and it starts from Sunday 28th of January 2024, and it says that it will take place in Nigeria, Ghana and Benin, and it's indicated that in Togo too it will happen, and here the dates are there from January 29th in Benin, January 30th in Togo, and in Ghana it's from in Tema and Takoradi 8 to 4 p.m. If you look at in Nigeria, it says the emergency shutdown test is part of WAPCO's 2024 scheduled maintenance activities and planned collaboratively with key stakeholders in the 4 countries and sanctioned by WACPA. We'll get more from WAPCO in the coming days to explain to us whether this will affect power supply or its supply of gas to the power stations. But let's get to other stories. Former President John Dramani Mahama has thrown his support behind organized labor's call on the government to stop the value-added tax imposed on electricity consumption. The group gave government 7 days to fully erase its planned imposition of 15% VAT on electricity consumption or face a nationwide shutdown from organized labor. In its directive to the Electricity Company of Ghana, the Ghana Revenue Authority and other government agencies, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta instructed that all power consumers above lifeline level must pay the new levy, which forms part of government's COVID recovery program. But even before the policy is rolled out, there's fierce resistance from all quarters. We'll hear from the former President Mahama shortly, but first listen to Trades Union Congress that is up in arms against the government, saying TUC members will not pay VAT on electricity consumption.
Union leaders preparing to give a showdown to government. The Trades Union Congress, the umbrella body for all labor associations in Ghana, say they are unhappy about government's latest decision to impose a 15% value-added tax on energy consumers above lifeline levels. The Trades Union Congress says many of their members who are already overburdened with taxes will be slapped with additional charges after the imposition of this new levy. Dr. Anthony Yauba is Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress.
It is worth noting that 30 kilowatts hour of electricity allows the lifeline customers to use only 3 LED bulbs, one electric iron, 1 television, and 1 fan. And I want to emphasize that this 30 kilowatts hour thing, lifeline, it was 50 since the early 90s. Then in 2022, PURC changed it from 50 to 30. They did it quietly. We note that since 2022, electricity tariffs have gone up by 73%. So in 2021, if you were paying 100 Ghana cedis, now that same customer is paying 173 Ghana cedis.
But there's a caution to government, a threat of labor unrest if government fails to totally reverse the policy.
So today, organized labor, we have come together again, and our message to government is very simple. We cannot pay VAT on electricity, period. We will not pay it today, we will not pay it tomorrow. So we are giving government up to 31st January 2024 to withdraw the letter. If by that time the Minister for Finance has not given the directive to ECG and NEDCO to stop the implementation of VAT on residential customers, we will advise ourselves.
Solidarity forever for the union.
Organized labor is up in arms against government, asking it to reverse the controversial 15% imposed on power consumers above lifeline level. A crunch meeting has just concluded here at the TEC Hall in Accra with a strong message to government to reverse the policy by the end of January or face the wrath of the organized labor.
We are not ready to pay this VAT. It is not about reduction. It is not about negotiating it down. It is just wrong. And government should withdraw it wholly. That's all.
And that is why we have come together as organized labor, and we are calling on government to just remove that decision. If we don't get it, we'll continue to communicate on our platforms, and the next actions that we need to take, we will take them.
We are going all out, and I have indicated before in previous interviews during the DDEP that we are ready to grant this country and start afresh. We are ready to do that. We have sacrificed enough. We have sacrificed enough.
Leonard Sogan reporting for JoyNews, TEC Hall, Accra.
Meanwhile, the 2024 flag bearer of the NDC and former President John Mahama is expressing concern that the implementation of the VAT on electricity consumption would further burden Ghanaians who are already suffering from economic hardship. Excerpts of a statement released shortly this morning reads, former President Mahama has thrown his support behind organized labor's call on government to stop the VAT imposed on electricity. Mahama emphasized that the move would increase tariffs by nearly 21% and have a ripple effect on the prices of goods, services, and transport fares. He's urging government to reverse its decision and provide relief to Ghanaians. He's criticizing the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government, stating Ghanaians will continue to suffer as long as they remain in office. And he's highlighting the need for responsible utilization of recently released $600 million by the IMF and urged outgoing government to exercise caution. The flag bearer is promising the NDC is eager and ready to address Ghana's economic challenges and provide substantial relief to Ghanaians upon assuming office in January 2025. He's also mentioned his vision to create well-paying jobs through a 24-hour economy policy and other initiatives. He's scheduled to begin a 3-day Build Ghana tour of the Ashanti region on Wednesday, which is today, to interact and listen to concerns of people in the region. We'll be bringing you more on that, the tour of Ashanti region for you. And meanwhile, the Electricity Company of Ghana says it is yet to commence the implementation of the VAT on electricity consumption. The company says it will need further clarification from the GRA on how to proceed with this implementation of the levy. Leila Abubakar is External Communications Manager for ECG.
The value-added tax announcement that came into effect in January has appalled a lot of our customers. The truth of the matter is that we haven't started implementing it, even though that letter says that it should have been activated in January. The reason being, we still have to understand how to implement this tax. So we are having active conversations with the Ministry of Finance, with the Ghana Revenue Authority, and with other stakeholders who have also brought their concerns forward. So for now, there's no value-added tax as announced included in residential tariff or residential customers buying electricity. For now, it's still the old status quo. When you buy, there's no VAT added to residential customers buying bills.
So are you equally engaging stakeholders to perhaps resolve some of inter-stakeholder challenges that may be affecting power supply across the country?
We've maintained an active engagement with our stakeholders, who mostly comprise of the power generators, to have them on the same page with us in terms of payments. I think since last year, our revenue generation has increased, and we found a way of ring fencing or having an agreement with the IPPs to hold on to the legacy debts that we owe them. But we are very up to date with the current bills that come to our desk. We try as much as possible to pay off those debts so that they can also function as businesses. And for any other issues that might be within, yes, usually we have engagements with all the stakeholders that are in.
Then your final comment on the VAT.
Well, in a new twist of events, the Trade Union Congress Ghana is questioning why the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has advanced work on its policy to remove value-added tax on multinational mining companies operating in Ghana. The group argues a pledge was made by Sector Minister Samuel Abujinapo to the Ghana Chamber of Mines that the charges will be removed by close of the first quarter of this year. TUC says these resource-rich companies ought to be the ones paying more taxes, including VAT on electricity.
It is also important and very, very sad, comrades, very, very sad to note that why government is imposing VAT on us, residential customers of electricity. Plans are far advanced to remove VAT on mineral exploration in Ghana for wealthy multinational mining companies. And the media reports that we have read indicate that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, in a meeting with Ghana Chamber of Mines, assured them, Abujinapo, assured them that that policy will be implemented in the first quarter of 2024. What kind of life is that? What kind of you impose tariffs on poor consumers of electricity, and then the wealthy multinationals, you are going to remove it. And he met them and assured them that by the end of this quarter, they are going to remove VAT from exploration for these rich companies. I mean, so what kind of country are we living in? Normally, in situations like what we have in Ghana today, when our economy is misbehaving and so on, what happens normally is that our mineral resources, because those of you who have studied economics, minerals, gold and the rest, they are anti-cyclical. So if you have checked, when economies go down, people invest in gold. So if you have gold and there is a problem, and your economy is going down, you use the gold to prop it up. That's why they were trying this oil for gold, whatever they are calling it. In a situation like this, that's what we expect. When there are shocks, both internal and external, you use your mineral resources because this is God-given. You use it to deal with the shocks, to cushion your economy from this external and internal shock. But in Ghana, sadly, that is not the case. It's always the poor people in this country, including pensioners, who bear the brunt. And we should not allow that to continue.
The Electoral Commission has justified its proposal to shift the voting date for both the presidential and parliamentary elections from December 7 to November 7. The EC also advocates election days to be designated as national holidays. These proposals were presented during the Inter-Party Advisory Committee meeting on Monday. Deputy Chairman of the Commission in charge of corporate services, Dr. Bosman Asari, says the proposal stemmed from reforms presented by political parties in 2015.
Actually, we discussed two things: changing the election date to a day possibly in November. Then, secondly, making the day of elections a public holiday. Those were the two main issues that were discussed yesterday.
And a public holiday, was there an acceptance of that?
Yes, because we made it clear to them that in 2020 we succeeded in making IPAC, and the Electoral Commission wrote to the Chief of Staff to work on making December 7, 2020 a public holiday. And we're able to have a very high voter turnout. We gave a reason that the time for the EC to work on organizing the elections within 3 weeks would be very, very tight. And beyond that, the time for the inauguration, you have a new government and an old government living office, the time will be too short. So we gave those reasons for why we think that what was adopted in 2015 will still be relevant in 2024. So we told the parties that it came from them, they should support, so that all of us will work in tandem to ensure that we are able to change, have enough days in the event of a runoff, we'll be able to implement it successfully.
There's more coming your way on this because we'll be gauging the mood of a political science lecturer on how this could impact on our elections and handing over, as well as swearing in our president come 2024 elections. But as campaigning heats up for the MPP parliamentary primaries in the Ashanti region, political scientist Dr. Mache Boateng has admonished delegates to critically scrutinize candidates. The Bantama, Nhyiaeso and Tafo Pankrono are among constituencies blazing for the toughest contest on Saturday. Nana Boakye Adam has a spotlight on these constituencies where incumbent MPs are expected to face firm opposition.
In the Ashanti region, Bantama, Nhyiaeso, and Tafo Pankrono are some key constituencies where incumbent MPs are expected to face tough competition in the MPP parliamentary primaries. The Bantama constituency has witnessed intensive internal contests where incumbent MPs lose after their first term in parliament. Incumbent Francis Asensu-Boakye, who has been in parliament for one term, is however optimistic of victory.
The fiercest competition, I believe, was between myself and Honorable Kokofu. That was the fiercest as far as I'm concerned. This one for me is not it's a no match. When you go to the constituency, those who are voting, they see a big difference. Yes. Like a difference between a VIP bus and Pragya. That is the difference. It's a no match. I don't see this as a competition at all. Because it will take a nation record to choose my opponent over me, given the unprecedented levels of development I've brought in Bantama against an opponent who has no record of active service to the party and to the competition. It will never happen in Bantama.
Raphael Japan is the unwavering opponent of Francis Asensu-Boakye, eyeing to unseat him from parliament.
He's an MP who can't even socialize with people. He's perceived to be arrogant, but now I agree with them because he talks as if he's, the chief of the world, calling himself a VIP, and then me Aboboya, and then I'm visionless. Hey, excuse me.
Confident of his victory, Raphael shared his vision for the constituency.
Whatever I'm saying is genuine. I will not come to you, talk to you, and then just for the sake of asking you for your vote. I have a genuine heart for Bantama constituency. And I've been doing this over time. That's why you made mention of the fact that I have gained popularity over a short period. No. I have been in this constituency, God knows when, the time I was born. And they know me, I interact with them. Anytime I'm out of Accra and I'm in Kumasi, I'm with Bantama people. They know what I've done for people who are seeking to get school fees to pay their tuition, medical fees, medical money for medicine and all that. A lot of them. Within the party, we've done series of legal works for the party. So the records are there for everybody to interact.
Political scientist Dr. Amache Boateng says the Bantama constituency has become a hotspot for years. He believes the incumbent MP can possibly retain his seat.
It's not necessarily a case of a support for a one-term member of parliament in Bantama, no. But the place has become like Congo DR, a battleground because of the size of the constituency. Sensibuachi has definitely done what he has to do. One would have expected that maybe Ochaman Boaji might have come back if he were to be with us and possibly offer him a challenge. That would have been something of a challenge.
At the Tafo Pankrono constituency, incumbent MP Vincent Ekowasefua will battle it out with Sewa Donko after the two locked horns in the 2020
primaries. The shoes that I met was a very big shoe. That is the shoe of Dr. Anthony Akoto Osei. The question, or the big question always was that, how are we going to get someone to be able to fill in that shoes? And I have no doubt in my mind that within 3 years, I have been able to achieve a lot for the people of Otafo constituency today.
But Sewa Donko believes she's the best for the job.
Tafo Pankrono Development Fund Foundation yede ekwako peska edim punto abakroimu yesuku sem ye hospital ya yaresem se impunto ebekoso wa ha eno na ye hwe na ya babeka.
After a failed court injunction, the Inshaeso constituency will be part of Saturday's primaries. Incumbent MP Dr. Stephen Amwa will face a former MP and DCE for Asokore Bampo, Kennedy Kankam. Dr. Amwa is confident of winning because he claims his opponent contributed less to the party's progress after losing the primary in 2020.
For the past 3 years, nobody has supported MPP in Inshaeso to the best of my knowledge. Any local activity I pay for. No one. When I lost election, I supported them. I supported my predecessor. Campaign, everything. I was paying money, funerals, even the constituency's activity I paid for. But 3 years, nobody, my predecessor lives in the same area with me. Dabai Musa. He was very fortunate to have gotten MCE's position, which is just here, Swansea and Share. So they are the same. Just recently, we just divided them. Not even a funeral activity, he supported them. I've been paying everything the constituency they know.
Meanwhile, Kennedy Kankam has begun his intensive campaign dubbed Sankofa. Dr. Amache Boateng cautioned the delegates against voting for candidates who may not help transform their constituencies.
In democracies, the core issue that democracies simply bring about, selecting the right caliber of people to represent the citizens in parliament in various positions of responsibility. If in doing that, you take money and on the basis of that, vote for somebody, on the basis of that, select somebody. That is it.
For JoyNews, Nana Boachidakwa Kumasi.
In Oforikum, the decision of Dr. Emmanuel Kwabena for not to return to Parliament has opened up that constituency for a tough contest. 5 candidates have been cleared by the party to contest Saturday's polls. One of the leading candidates in the Oforikum primaries, Michael Aidu, who has described his victory as an apparent phenomenon. There's more in this report.
The New Patriotic Party is working towards its agenda of Break the 8. Around constituencies, machinery and tactics are being employed in hopes of raising the party's numbers in the December 7th elections. The Oforicom Party office has received logistics for effective party work gearing up for December's elections. A candidate in the Oforicom parliamentary primary, Michael Edu, has distributed 22 motorcycles to the 22 polling stations of the constituency. He says the gesture is to cement his obligations as a candidate seeking to represent the Oforicom constituency.
When it comes to elections, you need logistics to move around. You know, one of the main activities that the party does is doing door-to-door campaigning. And when you don't have the logistics, it's quite difficult to move around various communities and neighborhoods. So with these motorbikes, I believe that we'll be able to garner the support that we need. We'll be able to enter the very difficult places that are difficult to reach. It will also speed up our processes in terms of the final day operations, in collecting of our pink sheets and other party strategies and operations. Today we have all the elders of the party here, we have the constituency executives, we have all the delegates, most of the delegates present here, representing every electoral area. So this shows the level of acceptance that I have within the constituency. The delegates have accepted and believed in my hard work, and they also believe that I can advocate well for the party and represent the party well in the Oforicom constituency. We are going to win these elections. We don't want anybody to fall into any issues, no cause for alarm. They should be calm and resolute behind me. 27th, they should go march peacefully.
The Oforicom NPP constituency chairman, Anthony Amankwa, says breaking the 8 should be the ultimate goal of candidates going into the primaries.
We are very serious and we are working hard to win 2024 election because it's going to be a history. You will be more grateful if other candidates will also follow same and do the same thing for our party, because in politics it's about numbers in terms of people who are going to work for the party, and in terms of logistics, in terms of everything, it's about numbers. If you have the logistics in abundance, then you'll be able to plan well towards the election. So you'll be grateful if other candidates will also do the same for the party.
Reporting for JoyNews, Clinton.
We can go back to our story on the Electoral Commission justifying its proposal to shift voting date for both the presidential and parliamentary elections from December 7 to November 7. The EC also advocates election days to be designated as national holidays. These proposals were presented during the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, IPAC, on Monday. Deputy Chairman of the Commission in charge of Corporate Services, Dr. Bosman Asari, says the proposal stemmed from reforms presented by the political parties in 2015. I've been joined by Senior Lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Asa Santi, for a conversation on this. Doc, I'm grateful for your time. First, what's your stance in the proposal for change in dates from December 7 to November 7? Is it safe?
Oh, I think there's nothing wrong with it. Once it's a proposal that is coming from the stakeholders, it shouldn't be difficult for us to accept, because by the time they propose, they have done all the groundwork. So they are convinced that that period is safe and it can support our cause.
Now, there's another proposal for the day to be declared a holiday. Already there are concerns of too many holidays. I mean, why should the voting day be made a holiday?
That's where I have a difficulty, because, you can, over the years, we have been voting without a holiday. So why do you want to dedicate that day solely for voting without doing any business of government? I think it affects our productivity. And for me, we are getting too many holidays, and it doesn't support the cause of a country that wants to build capacity. And we move on in this globalized world. So I think that, yes, the first proposal is okay. You want to change the date and then put it in November. Well, but for a holiday, I think I have my different view.
But of course, will this have any effect on the political parties, the activities? And I'm coming back to the change of the December date to November. Have we ever had cause to complain that the December 7 is not effective enough?
I don't know the reason behind that, the selection of that date.
They said it will give them ample time for the swearing in and handing over and all of that. But I'm saying, have we had cause to complain about, those things? It's been December all these years.
Yeah, sometimes we have no complaint, but there's a problem there. The good news is that the two parties who are at the forefront of this discussion and support with the Electoral Commission, they have experienced these things because they've been in government by handing over from one government to another and all that. They think there is always a difficulty there. So if this will bridge the gap for them, why not? Why not? It will not affect anything. I believe once the stakeholders have identified as problematic and they want to deal with it, I think it's fine. There is nothing wrong with that. Yes, but declaring it as a holiday is where I have a difficulty because we have done it over the years without holiday and we move on.
With the myriad of challenges pointed at the EC, recently the former EC chair, Afarijan, listed a number of issues that the Electoral Commission should deal with. You think this should be a priority?
Oh, it's one of the issues that are on the table for a very long time. So if they want to deal with it, fine. There's nothing wrong they looking at issues and trying to deal with them in terms of what reform. But what we are saying is that it's not everything that needs to be reformed. For instance, the issue of absence of indelible ink. I disagree with that because over the years we have worked with the use of indelible ink, and it has really served us well. So I don't know why, in the name of reform, they want to throw that one away. That one poses a great danger for us if we don't handle it well. And elections are not something we want to toy with at all.
And yes, and I'm happy you talk about one of the issues that have generated a lot of controversy, the taking out of indelible inks. There are other issues, but generally, if you look at the Electoral Commission, is it poised for election 2024, and is it ready to actually improve on its services?
Definitely, they owe it a duty to themselves and the people that they serve that they need to improve upon their services from time to time. The last election, we were not happy about some of the things that occurred. For instance, the last election, we saw a whole lot of problems that came out. Particularly, we can pinpoint the issue of they announcing results and coming back to as it were, come out with a rejoinder or another set of results. Those things are nothing that help anybody. In fact, they create all manner of danger for the country. If they are not sure about the results, they should wait, get everything right before they come out. But you announce and tomorrow you announce another one. Was it a rejoinder or what? All these things create doubt in the minds of the ordinary man who is voting. Remember that one of the cornerstones of building a solid electoral system is that there should not be any doubt about the process whatsoever, so that you give people the confidence so that when they lose election, they are ready to accept defeat and abide by the rules of the game. So you don't create any doubt in the minds of the people. So I believe that they have identified all these problems, and then this time around, they want to up their game.
I'm grateful for your time. Dr. Kwame Asante, he is a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department at the University of Ghana, also Director of Center of European Studies at the University of Ghana. Well, we'll see how the EC improves on its services going into election 2024. It's a conversation we'll be having from now onward till the elections are held. Let's get on to other stories. The inadequacy of desk in Kumasi Academy and many other schools is partly contributing to poor academic work. The deficit compels some students to share a monodesk. The Global Alumni Group of Kumasi Academy has intervened to help solve the furniture deficit and improve education. There's more in this report.
The evaluation of quality education and conducive learning environments typically consider student comfort and ample intramural resources. The situation is different at the Kumasi Academy in the Asokore Mampon municipality in the Ashanti region. Classes end up partially choked with 2 to 3 students packed on the available limited monodecks. According to the headmaster Samuel Kwame Gatu, the school established in 1957 is recording an overwhelming number of intakes with over 4,500 students as the current population.
Can you imagine when students are learning? The plastic chairs that we use in the church service, that is what they were using without a writing desk, writing on their laps, because what we were having wasn't enough. By the grace of God today, we can boast of 1,000 monodesks, courtesy of Agloba Kunini. We call upon them, they quickly respond to our call because they are critical and relevant stakeholders so far as the development of the school is concerned.
Mr. Gato spoke in appreciation of a donation of 1,000 monodecks and 50 bank beds made by the Global Alumni Union. President of Akunini Global, Harry Boache, emphasized the urgency of the situation as a driving force behind this gesture, highlighting the Alumni Union's commitment to alleviating the challenges faced by their alma mater.
Through the efforts of the 2003 year group, we presented another, I think, 150 of the monodecks before the current 1,000 that we are providing today. We, as Casper Global Kumasi Academy Past Students Association, we have put on our shoulders that as and when we collaborate with the school and then they come out with any issues or things that we can provide to help the school, we are there to support the school. Either through provision of furniture or any infrastructure, we are there. And the good thing is we have a very dedicated old students union who are willing and have the passion and focus to help the school. And that's, to me, the joy being the president, that having a bunch of students, a bunch of old students or past students who also have such desire and passion for the school.
Some students and alumni group members added that learning in a conducive environment is assured with the gesture.
We are very, very thankful to them because had it not been for them, currently we will still be standing. You still go to classes and then you find them standing there. You see a Form 3 student writing his final paper and then the person is standing. But right now that we have all these, I believe that teaching and learning is going to be very conducive because you go and then the student is sitting, feels comfortable, then fully attentive to whatever the teacher is saying.
This is something we want to encourage all other alumni associations we have in the country. If every past school members would embark on such projects, I believe that government will have very little to do when it comes to education. So what I want to encourage is that all alumni associations we have in the country, they should all come together, try and do something for their school.
Reporting for JoyNews, Clinton.
Residents of Seprepo in the Bon Katamansa municipality are resisting planned construction and operation of a filling station in their community. The residents deem the siting of the facility as a danger to safety and security in the area, with reference to the June 3 fire and flood disaster. Executive member of the Seprepo Zone 3 Landlords and Ladies Association, Charles Dubin, addressed a news conference at Kakasonanka number 2.
The aggrieved residents say siting of the fuel station poses a great risk to hundreds of school children at Christ the King Presby Primary and JHS and the church, which are 3 houses away from the site. They added that the filling station, being a few meters away from the base ammunition depot of Michel Camp, could spell doom in the event of an explosion, as the depot experienced a blast about 4 years ago. Although these residents since September 2023 have drawn attention of authorities to the potential dangers of the station, their cries have fallen on deaf ears. Executive member of the Sevreport Zone 3 Landlords and Ladies Association, Charles Dubin, indicated they have informed Ponkatamansu Municipal Chief Executive Samuel Oko-Amankwa and others who matter.
We are giving the authorities 2 weeks from today. If they don't halt the project, the Residents Association, the citizens of this community, is going to demonstrate against the government, the authorities, the MCE, the commanding officer of Michel Camp, the commanding officer of BAD, because we've already written to them. So we are giving them 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, if we see anybody in that construction site, the resident is going to mobilize and then go against them. We will never allow anybody to come to the site and work.
Assembly member for the area, Prince Jacob Ajovo, shares his frustration in getting the Ponkatamansu Municipal Assembly to act.
So at a point in time, the complaint came up. There's a filling station going on here. We took time to confirm that. We sent this complaint to the committee in Assembly, which was Security and Justice, with a report. At our very last general meeting and Assembly before the year ended, this issue came up.
About 100 teams made up of junior high pupils have today exhibited their prototype projects aimed at addressing societal problems. This forms part of the Ghana Science Technology Explorer Prize GSTEP Challenge, which aims at developing the interests of young people in STEM education. Let's cross over to the Accra International Conference Center, where Shola Adeyemi is there for more.
All right, so we are here at the Accra International Conference Center, where the exhibition of the Ghana Science and Tech Explorer Prize Challenge is happening. Now, if there's anything we know, is the fact that the teams that are here, to show us their prototypes, to exhibit their prototypes, have all been entreated to go into their communities, find things that are happening there. So if there are challenges, they pick them up and, come up with solution, innovation to mitigate these challenges. Now, as I have said, we are here today. If you look beside me, you can see that a lot of people are setting up. There are some of them who are done and there are some who are still setting up. But the team that struck me today is an all-girl team. You can see 4 beautiful girls standing behind me. They are the classicals. And we're going to find out what their prototype is about. What challenge is it going to mitigate? And what are the components of their prototype? Hello, darlings. How are we doing?
Yeah, good.
All right. Now, I know that your name is the classical, but will you tell me your names individually? What's your name?
I'm Esther Danso Ameya.
I'm Salata Beyi.
I'm Prislin Chua.
I'm Priscilla Ansa. I'm Lois. After we finish, I'm going home with all of you. But yes, I want to know, what is the name of this prototype that I can see here?
TC Air Purifier.
What is the TC Air Purifier? Tell me more about it. Who's talking?
So please, the TC Air Purifier works by drawing on clean air to pass through its medium. It contains a UV sterilizer which deactivates microbacteria present in the air, and also contains a filter and a cotton wool which trap the solid particles in the air. And we also have the activated charcoal, which also prevents odor and also smoke. So this device, our device is different from other models because many air purifiers can be placed in rooms, but our purifier can be placed in rooms and also in the entrance of the room, so that it purifies the air before it gets into the room.
Meaning they are trying to tell us that when we have these air purifiers in the room, we won't be coughing anymore, right? Yes. So yes, this and more is what is happening here. I told you that if you look around, you see that people are setting up. People to my left are already setting up here. We have a lot of teams who are also setting up. But another team has caught my attention. I'm going to be speaking to them shortly. They are the Sharks. Hello. Hello, guys. How are we doing?
Yes, we are fine.
All right. Now, from behind, I could see your prototype, and it's hit me. It caught my attention. So tell me, what is the name of this prototype? And as I said earlier, that these prototypes are, used to solve societal challenges. So what societal challenge are you using this prototype to solve?
Please, you are solving the communication barriers between two or more people. And we also know that communication is a key. Communication is a key to other people. So we know that if there is a problem in communication, so we must get an idea to solve this problem. So we made this device called the Shatek language translator. So it translates from the English to the Tree language.
Wow. English to Tree. So no matter the English I speak, it will take it into Tree?
No, but for now, it's a model. So we are not training it. And also what makes our device special is that the already existing translators, they bring out the output in text. Maybe some people don't know how to read tree, but if it is in sound, people will be able to understand. So that is what makes our device special from the already existing translators.
And please, the reason why we made this translator, because we know that when foreigners come to our country, Ghana here, because we want to help develop Ghana. So we made this language translator to help translate from the English to all our local languages here. So as time goes on, we are going to translate from the English to the Ghana, English to the Fancy, English to the other languages, and we will add more local languages to it and other international languages.
So how does it work? How do I get it to translate right now if I say something? Okay. Wow.
Language. So if you want to test it right now, these are the written speeches on it.
So say something in it.
So okay, so I can just program it right now for you.
Wow, we've said it. You can see here that we have a translator, and they're testing it out. So right now, what are you doing?
So right now,
Lois Adeyemi there with those girls exhibiting some problems they found in the community, and they came up with the solutions to those problems. We'll bring you more from the conference center in our subsequent bulletins. Let's take a break. When we come back, it's business.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Has extended support to the victims of the Akosombo Dam spill to alleviate the plight of displaced individuals. Group CEO and Managing Director Kwame Osei-Prempeh said the move is to give back to communities it operates within. He spoke during the presentation of a check of 150,000 cedis to the Member of Parliament of the North Tongu constituency, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa.
The initiative is to reduce the difficulties faced by the affected individuals and families and exemplify GOIL's commitment to fostering meaningful connections and actively contributing to the welfare of the communities within which it operates.
In October last year, the day he woke up to very sad news of overspillage of the Akosombo Dam, which caused many deaths and rendered thousands of Ghanaians homeless. We know that many responsible state institutions have come to your aid, and God, being one of the most respected companies in Ghana, cannot stay out of. So we decided from last year that we had to make a donation to mitigate your suffering.
Member of Parliament of the North Tongu constituency, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, expressed his admiration for GOIL Ghana's thoughtful intervention.
And we want to emphasize that this is no mean a donation. It is a very huge one, and we deeply appreciate it. We have set up a trust of a sort where an account has been created. The chiefs And then we appointed Professor Emmanuel Afedo, who is very good at disaster management. He is chairing the trust we call the Accountability Elders Council. So we want to assure you that this check will be paid into that fund, and it is administered very transparently. All our chiefs are part of the process, the deliberations, and they decide on how it should be administered.
Now, the World Bank Board has approved $300 million to help support some budgetary projects and stabilize the economy. The support, which comes under the Development Policy Operation, is expected to help Ghana's economic recovery and finance some projects identified in the budget. George Afi has more.
World Bank Board says this is the first of several support that will be advanced to Ghana to aid in the recovery of the economy. This $300 million should also go a long way to help restore fiscal sustainability, improve energy sector financing in the country. The World Bank, by this support, is also looking at how domestic revenue can be improved, as well as controlling expenditure. The bank also was the view that it should help in restoring fiscal and debt sustainability that would help in curbing inflation in the country. The disbursement follows Ghana's passing of the first review under the IMF program last Friday by the executive board of the fund. The development should mean that almost $1 billion should hit government of Ghana's accounts at the Bank of Ghana before the end of this month. That is more than $600 million from the IMF, and then this $300 million from the World Bank Group. Joy Business also understands that other donor partners are expected to meet in the coming weeks and approve some additional financing for Ghana to help stabilize the economy.
That's it for business. I shall be back to wrap up. Stay with us.
And that's how we wrap up the bulletin this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. See you again at 12.